Howdy, howdy, and welcome to another wonderful trash take. Today, an attempted assassin was only given 8.5 years in jail because they're transgender. Yeah, this is pretty fucking great. I love our justice system in America. So, as some of you remember, Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh had an attempt made on him and his family back in 2022. I believe it was something like they came from California all the way to DC, and they got caught outside his house with like multiple weapons, a Glock, a backpack, nails, a hammer. Like, they were going to torture him to death too. It was fucking crazy. They got lucky though, and there were two U.S. deputy marshals outside when they showed up, because at the time there were being active death threats against the Supreme Court because he was a Republican that was put on the Supreme Court, and Democrats believe that Republicans are basically fair games of any crimes that happen in America now. So they decided to try to show up and kill Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh and got arrested by the police. And they have been on trial and been kind of going in and out of the justice system. And at some point, he decided that he is now transgender. And so everyone's been retroactively changed the pronouns to a she. And the judge even used that as part of their sentencing. So I want to pull that up. Meet the judge that is so full of empathy that it gave a wannabe assassin 8.5 years in prison. An assassin. They came there to kill someone, intended it fully. They only got saved by the grace of two U.S. Marshals already being outside their place. 8.5 years. What the fuck? What is it clearly an act of politically motivated terrorism only now gets you 8.5 years? The justice system fucking sucks in America at this point. Apparently, if you just identify as a leftist or you try to kill a Republican and you get a Democrat judge, you're just like basically slapped on the wrist and let go. So I want to read down their breakdown of why they sentenced him so lightly as well. So this is a Biden appointee judge. I want to make that known. This is someone that Biden appointed to be a judge who got this case. And they gave a wannabe assassin, which should carry 30 years in a federal prison, 8.5. But basically, it's broken down as the Biden appointee factored into her sentence about Trump's executive order requiring transgender inmates to be detained in prisons that correspond to their sex at birth. So apparently, just because you're transgender now, and she knows you're going to be put in a prison for your gender because you're a man that wants to be a woman magically, you've been in prison your entire time, you haven't had any sex changes, you're not undergoing HRT, you've been in prison, but you're now identifying as a woman, your sentence gets lightened. That's right. Transgenders now have special privileges over random American citizens to where if they want to attempt to assassinate someone, it gets to use in the factor of their case and their sentencing. Like, what? What the fuck? They pleaded guilty to a charge of attempted murder, which carries a maximum sentence of life in prison. Because it's a politically motivated target against a Supreme Court justice. And you get 8.5 years because you're a retarded Democrat who now identifies as transgender. Fucking crazy. And it's premeditated as fuck too. They went from California to Virginia to do this. They took a taxi, they had weapons, this isn't just like an oopsie whoopsie, it's a heat of the moment. They planned this out. They did all of this. And some retarded bleeding heart judge gives them 8.5 years in prison? Are you fucking kidding me? And every leftist news organization is making sure to use their new preferred pronouns of them being a woman. Because like the Democrats just apparently believe if you just say you're a woman, you're now a woman. And now it apparently also gets you a lighter sentence too. Fucking wild. Here's a quote from apparently they went on like more than an hour-long speech justifying the light sentence. Boardman said, Miss Rook came out as herself as transgender in 2020, but kept it a secret. Mrs. Rook's sister came out as gay 2 years prior, but Miss Rook saw her parents struggling to reconcile their sexuality with their religious beliefs. So, sounds to me, and I'm reading in between the lines here, that they're saying the fact that the parents didn't like the fact that they had a gay sister and now a trans daughter probably helped motivate them to commit this heinous act because they weren't accepted for who they were. I'm kind of reading between the lines here, but it's fucking crazy. And this is another quote. I am hardened that this terrible infraction has helped the Rusk family accept their daughter for who she is. This is an attempted assassin. Why are we humanizing an attempted assassin of a Supreme Court justice? What the fuck is happening in America? You have someone who tried to kill a Supreme Court justice, politically motivated act of terrorism, and now they identify as a woman, so now everything they did is okie dokie dory. They're a second-class citizen. They've been discriminated against their entire life, apparently. Their parents were mad that their other daughter was gay, and now they're coming out as trans. So we should give them a lighter sentence. What? They're trying to use this as justification that the administration hates trans people, and so because that hate is justified because they're targeting trans people, they got a lighter sentence as well. That is what's happening here. It is stupid. It is asinine. It's not real. Trans people have all the same rights as an American citizen. The only thing they can't do is teach sexuality to kids. They also can't go in the women's bathroom. Women deserve safe spaces in America. How does the party of feminism and women first magically start allowing full-grown men who say I'm trans to go in the women's bathroom, no questions asked? It is an oxymoron. It's all virtue signaling. They never gave a fuck about women. They wanted their vote, so they did everything humanly possible to get their vote. And now they're throwing women under the bus head first because the vast majority of these pedophiles that keep getting caught in women's bathrooms are magically trans. How does that work? Oh yeah, because they're being affirmed for their sexual deviancy to where they're now being put in front of women and try to act on it. I'm sorry, as long as the Democrats keep up with this dogshit identity politics, they will never get a vote for me, and I will do everything in my power to make sure that is known that they are retarded with their ideology. Trans is not trans people do not have less rights than American citizen. That is a lie. That is a misnomer placed by the media. What they want is special privilege, not a right, special privilege. There's a complete difference, and the media tries to play it off as like trans rights are under attack. No, they're not. They aren't in any way, shape, or form, because it's not a right to be able to teach kids about sexuality. It's not a right to be able to go into the woman's bathroom if you're a man. That is not a right whatsoever. You can do whatever you want in your bedroom. No questions asked, full stop. Do whatever you want. A lot of these people that keep getting caught and put in prison are mentally ill. This guy tried to assassinate a Supreme Court justice and decided that he's magically trans now, and it worked. He's getting 8.5 years for basically what should have been a life in prison sentence because it's an act of politically motivated terrorism. But apparently if you're trans, your only special right that you get now is a lesser sentence instead of what you deserve, life in fucking prison. The American justice system is fucking cooked. If we can't put wannabe assassins in jail for life, this shit's not gonna get better. This is a judge and their bleeding heart empathy being used right now for the trans cause, instead of admitting that this person was mentally deranged and is now identifying as trans and it has no factor in this case whatsoever. They're saying it's all because they're trans that this happened. They're justifying an assassination attempt. That is what is happening. I really hope this gets overturned. I want to see this person in prison for life. They are mentally unwell. They wanted to kill a Supreme Court justice and then decided to say I'm magically trans now. Now, whether or not the mental illness led to them being trans is not what I'm saying here. I'm not making that a factor whatsoever. I'm saying they were mentally unwell because they tried to kill a Supreme Court justice here. Them being trans, who gives a fuck? No one. No one. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're trans. I do not care about your sexuality. I don't care about your preference. That should never be a factor in anyone's decision-making skills whatsoever, and we're clearly seeing it's a factor in all of these Democrat judges. This is a Biden-appointed judge. This is the consequences of dogshit elections. The issue is, if Democrats were really such an ally to trans people, they would be calling out the radical trans people among them, because what they're doing is making more people afraid of trans people when they see, oh, look, another assassin, oh, and he's trans. Oh, look, another trans person in prison molesting people. There are normal people and they want to be trans. Okay, the issue is the radicals among them are getting grouped up with everyone else saying if you hate this one person, you hate all of them, and that's not true. It's the same thing with the Islamophobia that I came up with yesterday. There's some normal Muslim people. Not every Muslim person's a radical extremist, just like trans people. There's normal trans people. They think they're a woman. They think they're born in the wrong body. The issue is, Democrats are full-heartedly accepting it, and if you try to use any rationale of, hey, this person's mentally ill, let's not make their gender identity part of this, they like, nope, that's everything. You can't do that. That's their gender identity. They're not mentally ill. That's just who they are, and it needs to end. You're going to cause more people to actually hate trans people because of this. This is ass-backwards thinking. It's stupid. Yeah, I just happened to see this today, and I keep seeing more about it, and I'm getting infuriated the more I read into it. I'm sure I'm going to find some more shit later that makes this even worse. But yeah, apparently now in America, if you claim to be trans, you can do an assassination attempt, and that'll actually help you in your case. As long as you get a retarded Democrat judge, that is. Because Democrats are the soft-on-crime party. They always have been, and I don't know if they ever will fix themselves. But they should be losing votes for this. This identity politics shit needs to end. It should have ended years ago. It's turned into a complete campaign of basically just full-on racism now. And now apparently if you're trans, you just get special privileges in all of society because you decide to magically say that you're trans. Yeah, crazy, crazy. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. If you liked the video, feel free to like it, comment down below, or subscribe. I think this shit will not end until these people are removed from power. They need to be voted out immediately. The Attorney General needs to weigh in here, because getting the fact that your sexuality is playing a role in your attempted assassination is fucking dog shit. It's an excuse, and they're using it to try to give a crazed assassin a lighter sentence, and which will only help to embolden more assassins if they know, oh, I'm trans, so it's justified now. Oh, fuck, man. You're opening a can of worms that should not have happened, and this is not going to get better until it is fixed. Yeah, thank you guys very much for tuning in. Hope you liked the video. If you like it, feel free to like it, comment down below, or subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, later.